Welcome to the Clean Slate with your hosts, Daniel Garza and Carson Phillips, providing you with movie news, reviews, and more. Sit back, relax, and don't forget to go to the concessions to get your popcorn and drinks. For your entertainment, this is the Clean Slate Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Carson Phillips. That's Daniel Garza. This is the Clean Slate Podcast. We're going to rise evilly on today's episode. Welcome to 31 Nights of Halloween. This is the show where we review 31 movies in 31 days, and they're all usually Halloween or horror themed.
Usually.
So this one's Evil Dead. Yeah, every now and then there's a Christmas movie. This is Evil Dead Rise. So for those of you who don't know, this is a beloved franchise from Spider-Man director Sam Raimi.
Yep.
So he's been part of our childhood because of Spider-Man, and part of my childhood because of Evil Dead. I remember watching the original, unfortunately, as a child.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was one of those, like everyone has like those early horror films they see. Yeah, everyone has a pass, Yeah, but I like this franchise, so I'm excited to talk about this movie again because we recorded this earlier.
Yeah, true. Well, now they know our secret.
Yeah, now you know.
Okay, guys, so welcome back to the Clean Slate Podcast. Here is the logline for Evil Dead Rise, a twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of a family imaginable. That was so wordy. It was so wordy of a log line. But anyway, guys.
Why did it have to specify that they're flesh-possessing demons? What other kind of possessing demon is there?
Can you get? We can get into the theology of all of it, but
the theology
different podcasts. Okay, cool. So give them a little, a minute rundown of what this movie is.
Yeah. So this is essentially a standalone film. You could argue it's a sequel, but there's really not too much carryover between films. I think the previous one was the 2015 Evil Dead remake. But this franchise typically doesn't have super tight continuity anyway, so you don't really need to know anything about the previous films. Mm-hmm. All you need to know is we're in a high-rise apartment complex this time. I don't remember if they say what city.
They probably do. I don't remember at this point.
It doesn't matter, but renting's hard, guys, okay?
Yeah, it is.
And they happen to unleash a demonic curse upon their entire condemned apartment, which is bad. They literally were about to move out the next day, I think.
Yeah.
And so you were introduced to this family who seems to be kind of doing it on their own. The dad's out of the picture. He sounds like a jerk. And
classic.
What is she? She's like a sister, right? So the sister of the mom of the family is visiting. She's like a roadie kind of gal, but she kind of missed that whole aspect of, I'm getting a divorce. I don't think she knew that was happening. So there's some family tension, family drama there. But this curse is released through vinyl record, which is different than it being a book. In the past, it was a book. But so the curse is released. The mom happens to get possessed. She dies too, I guess. Spoiler, but it happens in the first 15 minutes. It's in the trailer. But so things go haywire. It gets bloody. It gets gross. There's a lot of body horror and it just gets nuts from there. There's not much. The plot really doesn't matter for this movie. Yeah, it's not about the plot, but
definitely not. Okay, cool. So let's get into our likes and dislikes. I'm going to start with when you kind of get into the position of it's not plot heavy. You can accept it more for what it really is, and it's just kind of like a horror, gore fest, if you will. It has themes of slasher with just the demonology put into it. So that is, once you accept that, I think you can enjoy it a little bit more. To be fair, it is really intense and really graphic.
Did it scare you? A little bit. I mean, I know you're watching these in daytime.
Yeah, well, it's because I work during the day now. I don't work at night anymore, really. So I watched it during the day, and I would say it's still pretty scary because you know how your thing is eyeballs is like your scary
there's a
thing.
gross eyeball scene in this movie.
Yeah, mine is like facial, like
deformities.
Yeah, kind of.
That
so
sounds bad. There's a better word.
There's a better way of saying that, but like facial, like grotesque, like they're purposefully like trying to. So like that's why on the A24 films they always have those like smashing in the faces scenes, and I like Midsummer. Midsummer was one of the ones that I could not do with the Oh, LOL. Okay, I can keep talking. I can just mute. Oh. Anyway, so in Midsummer, anyway, they with the right when they jump off the cliff and whatnot, and they have to like finish it off. They the breaking in of the rocks with the faces is like the most grotesque. So anyway, there's quite a bit of that in The Smile too, and just different things of that sort. It gets me.
I didn't know that bothered you so much.
Oh, it's bad.
That kind of stuff gets Alyssa, like bones crunching or faces getting mooshed.
Yeah, Hills of Eyes is always a struggle for me because that's like all the movie is just facial.
The movie's gnarly.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the biggest thing that I struggle with, but the whole movie itself, wow, this is really loud. The whole movie itself, I like. It's an enjoyable, like, I would say, film, like, to have like a party with, and you'd be like, oh, let's watch something crazy tonight, and that's kind of the vibes that it gives.
Good like group reactions, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think for me, The Evil Dead is supposed to be more like this visceral experience, like as a franchise. That's how I feel. Obviously, there is like some interesting plot ideas, but it doesn't get fully fleshed out. I guess that's more of a dislike. But man, the effects in this movie and the cinematography, are insane.
So good.
You can tell they're having fun making this movie.
Yeah,
like from every standpoint. Like once they get doing the Evil Dead thing, like body parts going everywhere. There's that scene where they're looking through the little peephole, and it's absolutely disturbing, but cool. And
there's that whole scene where it's just like the murder scenes, and it's all looking through the people
POV.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's like,
never
oh my
seen that
gosh.
before.
Yeah,
I would totally steal that for a film, though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, once it's put out there, everybody takes it if it's good.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's some like cool like body horror elements, I guess, towards the end of I don't want to spoil it, but there's some there's that, and then there's a combination of characters tag teaming. I'll just say that. You'll know if you watch it. And it's horrifying. I actually got to see an animatronic of that at Halloween Horror Nights in 2023. We're actually doing this year in a couple of nights, though.
Dang. So you should like film it.
That's my story. Is gonna just be never ending,
and then just put it on the podcast.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it was fun movie overall. I think it's great. I would love to see this director do more of this, but
yeah, my favorite of the like in terms of cinematography was that drone shot when it's like going through the entire like little neighborhood that they were like, just the way like we've seen drone shots be really really good, and we've seen drone shots be pretty stupid, tacky. Like in Ambulance is like stupid like use of it, but in this one it was just like it really set the tone of like we're being thrown into this film right now and it's about to get crazy.
Low key, I'm pretty sure. So this is in the original films too. That's supposed to be the POV of this evil presence, like coming into the apartment.
That totally makes sense,
and that's cool. It's creepy, and you don't see it though. Like it just kind of
you're with it.
Is, like it's pure evil. Because it's like you can't see it and we don't understand it. I think that's kind of interesting. But
yeah, my last thing I would say that I could like it's kind of a like and dislike, but the little girl, she's like so sweet in the entire movie.
The youngest daughter, she kind of annoys me.
And she is kind of annoying, but like that's kind of like what's the dislike. But I don't know. I just feel so bad for her because out of everything
as a character, as an actress,
well, probably both. But yeah, no, it's just like one of those. I don't know if it's just because I'm a sensitive dad now, but it's just one of those things where it's
dad card.
Yeah, there it is. There's the dad card, everybody. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I was just like, dude, this little girl. I was like, she doesn't deserve this.
Yeah, they don't shy away from, without spoiling too much, they don't shy away from children death in this movie.
Yeah, that's facts.
I do want to say the performances are really good, especially whenever someone gets turned into evil mode. Mm-hmm. They like go way off the chain.
Yeah, it's like
their performances.
I kind of related to, like, you know how, like, The Exorcist or The Exorcism of Emily Rose, right? That whole scene where she, like, is being, you know, she's trying to get to the church and she's being taken back.
Yeah.
I feel like that was such a huge thing of its time, to where people are like, oh my God, the acting was spectacular in that scene, because there's nothing like pulling her back. That was all herself. But I feel like in certain movies like this, you can just find gems of people being able to just do that now. And it's almost like kind of an expectation for like modern
like, if you can't
horror
pull it
films.
off, the movie's not worth watching, right?
Yeah, or like you're not worth hiring. Like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure it's hard to do. I know I couldn't do that. I think I'd be too embarrassed.
Yeah, no, or too like in your head about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so any dislikes for this film?
Really, I just kind of wish I liked the characters more. I do like them, but I don't
this is like
care
separation
about them that much. Mm-hmm. The main girl, I like her. Like, I think she's the only one really that has an arc. The little girl has an arc, and that's kind of just the nature of the film, though, because people are dying left and right. It's hard to have a full story for every single character. I kind of wish I cared about the mom more. I feel like that could have been like important to the deeper meaning of this film, because there's like the ideas of like motherhood and whatnot.
Honestly, I would say more so, like, if, you know, like we always kind of do this thing where if we could change one thing, I would change the beginning scenes to being like a mom, like just being a mom, loving her, you know, kids. Maybe there's some struggle in there, but they're all kind of like separated, and at the end of it, right, there's unity. Because the scene me, right, the scene at the beginning for me is just not like it almost should be just a short
disconnected too much.
Yeah, and you don't get too much of a connection besides the spirit and
it's
what's
great
about
opening
to happen.
though.
Yeah, it's great, but it just disconnected.
That should have just been like an end credits thing. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, guys, that's all the dislikes I have. I don't know if you have any more, but
that's really it. I mean, it fires on almost every cylinder, though.
Yeah. So, guys, you can rent this on Amazon. It is pretty intense. So, you know, parent review guides, look at all those before. Yeah, it's pretty grotesque. So anyway, but that is Evil Dead Rise. You can go check it out. And guys, we are still continuing on with our 31 Nights of Halloween. We have a lot more movies coming. We have some new, some old, but we got a good mix going on. So I'm pretty excited about our mix. And as we've been watching this, I mean, we're watching like I think I watched 9 this week.
I watched so many movies this week. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, especially because you work and you can't like watch the movies while you're working.
Yeah, I get home and I'm like, it's movie day. Actually, Thursday I have a Bible class on Thursday, and then after I just watch movies. It's kind of absurd, but that's
I know. We always take a break after the Halloween month because of how torturous we do.
There's just so many movies and so much fake blood. Yeah,
no, seriously. Okay, guys, but we are going to continue every single day, like Carson said, with 31 movies. So stick with us if you can. And go back. And we have a ton more episodes coming, and a ton more that we've already done. So go look at it, and we will see you tomorrow for another movie.
Deuces, baby. That's a clean slate.